Fantasia Barrino's health. A path to recovery, fortitude, and complete well-being. One of the most motivational success stories in contemporary music is Fantasia Barrino's journey from a young mother from a tiny town to the American Idol champion and Grammy-winning powerhouse. Although her voice is unmistakable, raw, emotive, and soulful, the lady behind it has seen both great success and intense hardship. Fantasia has talked candidly about the difficulties she has had over the years, especially those related to her mental and emotional well-being, and how they have completely changed the way she views well-being. She is now a representation of tenacity. Her prior struggles do not define her journey. Rather, it is the strength she acquired from conquering them. Fantasia changed her life with faith, counseling, exercise, self-care, and a revitalized sense of purpose. Her dedication to complete well-being continues to motivate millions. Fantasia Barrino's journey is a living example of how healing is a complex, intensely personal path that is full of both successes and failures. The fact that she overcame adversity and turned it into strength, insight, and purpose is what makes her tale so inspirational. Numerous others have been able to accept their own suffering without feeling ashamed because to her candor regarding her emotional and mental challenges. By being honest, she serves as a reminder that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather the start of true transformation. Fantasia's approach to wellness is based on self-compassion, a strong sense of faith, and a dedication to completing the challenging inner work necessary for personal development. She now realizes that maintaining her peace of mind is a survival strategy and that mental health is just as important as physical health. She has become the strongest version of herself to date thanks to her increased emphasis on balance emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Her narrative also emphasizes the value of surrounding oneself with positive people. When Fantasia created a circle of love, respect, and support for one another, her rehabilitation progressed more quickly. She discovered that respecting your own needs and boundaries is a better way to demonstrate your value than enduring hardship. As a mother, an artist, a wife, and a woman who refuses to let her past define her, Fantasia stands tall today. Her message to the world, "You can rebuild, you can rediscover yourself, and you can rise again," is just as powerful as her songs. I hope her story inspires anyone going through emotional upheaval to persevere, get support, welcome recovery, and have faith in the potential for a better, healthier life. A public figure under stress, Fantasia Barrino was only 19 years old when she won American Idol in 2004. She was young, talented, fragile, and abruptly forced into the spotlight. She became famous instantly thanks to her strong voice, but she wasn't ready for the additional demands and expectations that came with celebrity. Fantasia has acknowledged in interviews that the shift from anonymity to celebrity exacerbated personal issues she had been dealing with in private for years. In addition to her work, she felt accountable for providing for her family and demonstrating to the world that she belonged in the field. Her mental and emotional health gradually started to suffer under the weight of it all. The emotional crisis of 2010 that turned everything around. Fantasia's 2010 hospital stay after an overdose, which she later referred to as an emotional breaking point rather than a suicide attempt, was one of the most well-known and challenging periods of her health journey. Not because of a medical condition, but rather because of weariness, heartache, public scrutiny, financial strain, and the need to be strong for everyone around her. She was extremely overwhelmed. According to Fantasia, this experience made her face the mental scars she had been ignoring for years. She came to see that healing needed more than just relaxation. It also needed openness, vulnerability, and a readiness to seek assistance. Her wellness journeys focus on mental health. Recognizing her mental health issues was the first step on Fantasia's path to improved health. She has candidly discussed having depression, excessive stress, burnout on an emotional level, unworthiness-related feelings, pressure from family obligations, and celebrity. Her rehabilitation process began with therapy, spiritual counseling, and surrounding herself with positive influences. She had silently carried the burden of expectations and pain for years. A significant turning point was learning to speak honestly and without shame. More significantly, Fantasia developed a strong desire to support Black women, in particular, in making mental health a priority. She has advised people to seek treatment, establish boundaries, and ask for assistance because she thinks emotional well-being should be treated with the same seriousness as physical fitness. Healing by inner power and faith. Fantasia's life has always revolved around her faith. Long before America heard her sing, her identity was fashioned by gospel music when she was growing up in the church. She relied largely on her spiritual base following her emotional crisis. She used scripture reading, prayer, and meditation as strategies to regain her composure and self-assurance. Fantasia frequently claims that re-establishing her relationship with God aided in her self-discovery. She discovered how to let go of guilt, accept flaws, and embrace grace. Her faith provided her the strength to break off bad relationships, start over with better habits, and concentrate on raising her kids in a stable and loving environment. Changing her physical well-being. Fantasia's physical well-being followed naturally as she put her emotional health first. She started concentrating on healthy eating practices, exercises that increase strength, cardio exercises centered around dance movement on a daily basis rather than intense exercise, drinking plenty of water and eating well. Fantasia doesn't try to disguise how her figure has evolved over time. She has accepted her postpartum figure, her natural curves, and her development as a woman. Her fitness journey is about feeling strong, energized, and confident rather than reaching a particular size. She frequently shares videos of herself dancing, exercising, and appreciating the power of her body. Her message is straightforward. Everyone's health is unique and varies. Rebuilding her voice and safeguarding her instrument. Her wellness narrative also includes vocal health. Fantasia has had to learn how to safeguard her instrument because she has one of the strongest voices in music. Even the strongest voice cords can be strained by touring, extended performances, and passionate singing. Her top priorities are staying hydrated, vocal relaxation, breathing techniques and warm-ups, preventing excessive use, using the right method to avoid strain. Fantasia has stated that taking care of her voice means taking care of her purpose, and she follows this discipline every day. The significance of motherhood in her recovery. Fantasia's health makeover has been significantly influenced by motherhood. From the start, her daughter Zion served as her inspiration, and years later, being a mother once more gave her a new sense of direction and stability. She found stability, inspiration, and emotional support in her new family life, which included her marriage to Kendall Taylor. Fantasia frequently talks about how her husband motivated her to develop a healthy lifestyle, love herself, recover, and set boundaries. She learned patience, resiliency, and the value of putting her children's emotional health first as a mother. Creating a circle of support and letting go of negativity, being surrounded by positive individuals, was one of Fantasia's most significant actions. She battled giving too much and getting too little in return for years. She had been emotionally depleted by stress, betrayal, and poisonous relationships. She discovered how to refuse, keep her far from negativity, create a network of sincere supporters, keep her calm, refuse to live up to the expectations of others. Her whole life was changed by this change. She became healthier as her surroundings improved. A new emphasis on simplicity and balance is at the heart of Fantasia's wellness philosophy. She prioritizes and leads a simple life. Family belief music, silence routines that are healthy, peace of mind. She no longer performs for approval or gives in to pressure from the industry. Rather, she produces art that is true to her spirit while working at her own speed. According to her, being healthy is understanding when to take a break, when to speak up, when to leave, and when to experience joy guilt-free. Using her story to empower others, Fantasia has a strong voice in discussions regarding the following because of her bravery in sharing her struggles. The mental health of Black women, burnout on an emotional level, love for oneself, recovering from trauma, having faith in the face of adversity, purpose and self-worth. Fans find great resonance in her sincerity. She doesn't act flawless or unbeatable. She teaches others to find strength in vulnerability and accepts her imperfections. Fantasia's tale demonstrates that maintaining good health is a journey rather than a destination that calls for ongoing attention, awareness, and development. A rebuilt life through well-being. Fantasia Barrino's health path is not characterized by a single event or disaster. It is the culmination of years of learning, recovering, falling, and getting back up. Her tale is compelling not just because of the adversity she encountered, but also because of the way she restored her life with deliberate self-care, emotional integrity, and faith. She is stronger, more centered, and more grounded than she has ever been. Her energy, lucidity, and well-being are what really show through, even though her voice is still harsh. The world is reminded by Fantasia that recovery is achievable even following the most severe storms. For her, wellness is a way of life, a dedication, and an example of perseverance rather than a fad.